there in Washington. Germany has long been the economic engine of Europe, but the motor has been sputtering for some years now. Off the back of a recession, the German government is attempting to jumpstart the nation with new initiatives. Deutsche Welle correspondent Lars Halter joins us now from Berlin. Lars, g'day. So what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Indeed, Chancellor Friedrich Merz and the members of his cabinet are currently in a two-day meeting to debate how to jumpstart Germany's economy. And just to give you an idea of how desperately that's needed, Germany has seen 2 years of recession, and this year was initially seen as a year of recovery. But due to recent troubles with tariffs out of Washington and with growing competition out of China, economists here are looking at meager results, so are likely to stay at least stagnant this year, although a further drop for the German economy cannot entirely be ruled out. Anyway, that's why Chancellor Merz has called for an autumn of reforms, a very broad marker, he said there. Government reforms have long, of course, been called for by German businesses, who have long said that the country is currently not attractive for businesses to invest in. Too much bureaucracy, high energy costs, a lack of skilled labor even. All in all, just too much to compete globally.
So what exactly does the cabinet think can be done to help boost the economy?
Well, as the meeting started, there was a lot of talk about bureaucracy and efficiency, or rather the lack of efficiency these days. Between the rules and regulations on the federal level, companies here have to also deal with a lot of EU regulation and also with an immense amount of documentation of processes. All that has been criticized for years. Now, the government wants to make things more efficient, and there are at least two initiatives on the agenda that are giving businesses hope. One is actually to just shut some government agencies or parts of agencies that have just been growing for decades and have led to agencies seemingly becoming more restrictive, if only to justify their very own existence. A smaller administrative body would also, of course, save the government money in the long run and could also allow even for lower taxes at some point. And the other idea might show results even faster. That would be improved digitalization, and implementing AI in all this, of course, is a major point. Now, Germany is sadly far behind when it comes to digitalization, and that also has been slowing things down, including, for example, the planning and building of new plants. For companies even willing to invest, it took a lot of patience, or still takes a lot of patience, as the approval process here often moves at a snail's pace, with oftentimes possibly lucrative investment plans being shelved over seemingly overblown environmental concerns or citizens' initiatives dragging out processes. If the government would be able to cut down on that, companies would certainly be more eager to invest.
Yeah, it's really surprising to hear that Germany's been slow on digitalisation. So what's been the reaction from business so far?
Yeah, corporate Germany so far is enthusiastic about the new government initiative, so much so that over 100 companies have already signed on to a project called Made for Germany. That's, of course, a play on the once valuable Made in Germany trademark. Made for Germany is an initiative where those undersigned companies pledge major investment in their fields over the next 3 years. Among the founding members were Deutsche Bank, the biggest German lender, but also the industrial conglomerate Siemens. There are major industrial companies on board, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, also some media companies, even companies in high-tech and the service industry. All in all, they've so far pledged investment of 735 billion euros, and that is massive. It's actually more than the 500 billion euros the Merz government has already pledged to invest in infrastructure, for example, also in an effort to boost economic growth here in Germany. That money now has largely been made available for upgrades to roads and bridges and tunnels, the power grid and other parts of basic infrastructure. And it will obviously be helpful for corporate Germany to have this improved infrastructure, but it also creates hundreds of thousands of jobs. So we can clearly see that Berlin has plans, has ideas, but we will have to still see what this autumn of reform actually delivers in the end and which ideas really become reality.
And you'll have to compete with Made in Australia on the world stage, Lars. We've been doing that for decades. Cheers. We'll leave there. Lars Halter in Berlin. A quick look at tomorrow's weather now in the capital cities around the nation. Brisbane mostly sunny, Sydney partly cloudy, Canberra, Melbourne and Hobart can expect showers. Adelaide showers easing, Perth sunny and a top of 27 and partly cloudy in Darwin.